O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel. You know, I don't think December is the time of Yeshua's birth. But at the same time, I don't want to rain on somebody's parade. I'll be honest with you. If you want to celebrate the Lord's birth in December, it's not the right day. But you know what? I'm glad someone's remembering that he was born. But I'm going to tell you, this is a message this morning of my frustration about the killing of Christmas. Now, I grew up as a kid in a non-religious home, and so we had Christmas. Okay? There's no Christ much in that Christmas, but we had Christmas. And I have some fond memories of Christmas to some degree. Okay? But I want to tell you about the diluting, polluting, and the execution of Christmas. You see, it all started back when people started saying it was not proper to greet someone with a Merry Christmas. And many stores, like Walmart and other stores, actually forbid their employees to do the Merry Christmas greeting. And then there was the schools. They no longer called it the Christmas break or the Easter break. No, it became winter break and spring break, immediately trying to remove any religious connotation, okay, to those particular breaks. If you don't want to be religious, great. So you go to work on Christmas. You go to work on Easter. Go ahead. And quit scamming on our holidays. Okay? Now I'm going to continue on here just a moment. If that wasn't enough, when they started to dilute it in that way, then they began to pollute it with its capitalization. I sit down and watch TV every now and then, and now the Christmas commercials are coming. And I'm looking at the Christmas commercials, and none of them are about Christmas. It isn't. This holiday, buy more socks. This holiday, more makeup. This holiday, another fake tree. This holiday, where's the Christ in the Christmas? You know what I mean? It makes me crazy. Once again, I'm going to tell you, I believe that he was born during the time of Sukkot. However, the fact that someone is going to sit there and panhandle on the Christian holiday just makes me nuts. Sit down, and here's the challenge. Next time you sit down, you're watching some TV, and of course you got commercials every 13 minutes. Okay, count the commercials that are Christmas oriented. And then in that number, count how many of those commercials really dealt with Christmas, the reason for the season. You're going to see the answer is going to be zero. Zero. It's all about commercialization. Can I sell you this? We're going to give you a good deal. We're going to offer this to you. And we're going to take one. I love this one series of commercials. We're going to take one of the months off, one free payment pass or whatever it is. Okay? And it's just crazy. And now, here's the absolute killer after I have my coffee. And I have my cookie. And by the way, I do have an answer on how to deal with this. 3, 2, 1, 0. Gotta let it drain a bit. You know how much I enjoy this program? A lot. Not just because of the cookie and the coffee, and thank you, Sherry, and thank you, Jaylee, but because I get a chance to be blunt. Okay? Here's more of my bluntness. How did they kill Christmas? Take the Thanksgiving Day parade that Macy puts on every year. For the last 3 years, they had pro-Palestinian protesters trying to stop the parade. What was it? Last year, like 21 people glued themselves to the highway, to the road. You know, I just run over them. I don't seem mean. But when you intentionally rain on somebody's parade, there's no glory in that. There's no God in that. There's nothing unique in that. They use the Christian holiday to promote their own disruption and their own false ideology. No, it just doesn't make any sense. It only offends. You're not going to win somebody's approval by stopping their parade. It's not going to happen. You know, I'm not a big parade fan, but the wife, she likes watching the Macy's Day Parade and all the balloons and the floats and this. But even in that, how much do I see that deals with Christmas? Not a zero, but maybe a 1 or 2%. At best. Did you know the whole Santa Claus thing, though it was a rumor, a story before, it was Macy's Day Parade and Coca-Cola in the early 1900s, okay, that brought about the parade and placed Santa there. And of course, he's always at the end of the parade. He's the reason for the parade. I'm sorry, Santa, you're not the reason for the parade. Sorry, go turn your red suit in, give it back to whatever costume shop you rented it from. It's the Messiah. Though the right day, I think, is in October, I don't care if they're going to honor him. I'm going to honor them who honor him. Does that make sense to you? I don't agree with the Christmas tree and a lot of the other trappings, but I do agree with the purpose and the reason. Just the timing's wrong. So when I think of Christmas, I think how millions of believers who may not agree with the way I believe, okay, how they have people constantly raining on the parade while trying to suck them dry of their finances. Now here's the solution, okay, to the pollution, okay, of the corruption of Christmas. I'm trying to be a poet, but you probably did not know it. That's a line, by the way, from Scarlet Pimpernel. Refuse to participate in the corruption. All right? Now, I'm not saying be hard-nosed and anti. I'm saying stick to the purpose. Okay? Are you going to go caroling? That doesn't cost anything. And it delivers a message. Okay? Are you going to go visit someone who hasn't had a visitor all year? That's a blessing. That's a mitzvah. That's a good deal. The way we ignore the polluters and the corruptors of Christmas is by ignoring them and doing what we know to be right. Are you planning on going to the church? Are you planning on going to your parish? Okay. Then you should plan on not going just alone, but dragging some people with you. I say dragging because most Americans have never been to a Christmas program. That's the truth. And so I would like to encourage you to encourage others to step out of the pollution that's been passed off as Christmas and step back into the purpose. When you were a child, Christmas was originally kept. No? How many hymns and how many carols can you remember? Or have they all been replaced with jingle bells and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I have no problem with those, but they're not the reason for the Christmas. So here's my best advice. Okay, go back in your mind, ask yourself what made Christmas Christmas to you, and relive it, and introduce it to your children or your grandchildren. You know, whatever that means. But don't let someone rip you off this season. Okay? And for my Jewish friends, okay, and family, Hanukkah. Don't confuse Hanukkah with Christmas. Hanukkah is all about the Maccabees and the desire to serve the Lord to the point that they went to war against their enemies, the Greeks, and won. And reestablished the temple. My Jewish friends light the Hanukkah every night. And make sure you have a candle lighting opportunity. And if you don't know how to do it, text me. And I'll send this to you over the email. I don't know why, but some people's emails just not getting through. So make sure you give me a correct spelling of everything. But this is a guide to lighting the Hanukkah candles. And don't get commercialized, unfortunately, like many of the Christians have. And think you're going to go out and go broke. You know, I heard one guy say, those Christians are so cheap. They got one night of gift giving. We got 8. No wonder we're broke. Work with me, folks. This is my good stuff. Don't go broke during a holiday. You don't want to do it. Because the moment the holiday's over, the grief sets in. You start second questioning, doubting yourself and questioning yourself. You know? So, Hanukkah, light those candles. Remember the Maccabees. Tell the story. Sing the song. Christmas Eve service. Cantatas. Do what good Christians do to celebrate their holiday. Unless we can avoid those posers, okay, who would simply take abuse or give you abuse. I will tell you, when I see Salvation Army ringing the bell, I put money in the kettle. In fact, a couple of times, I'll go up and I say, can I ring your bell for a moment? And I'm ringing. You go, ho, 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 give us some dough. That's true. That's really true. But anyway, if you're going to give charity, make sure it's real and going to a real place. You know, it's good to give charity this season. All right? So I don't have anything beyond this to let you know that our holidays, okay, and I think I like the way Seinfeld put it. Okay, it's Festivus for the rest of us. Anyway, so this week we're going to be talking about, okay, I got the wrong title there. It's going to be Hanukkah and Christmas, the truth that'll set you free. All right? So with that said and done, let's go ahead and ask you to punch those buttons, like, share, follow, donate. The most important button on there is share. You got some believing friends, Jews, Christians, Messianics, okay, who are just been out of shape over the season and it's commercialization. Send this to them, okay? Be wise. Send it to them. Put it on your own platform. Okay? So, now for the blessing. And the blessing is something that's ordained by God, not by the rabbi, not by man. For the Lord spoke to Moses, said, Moses, My people are not to leave my presence without my name and my blessing being placed upon them. And these are the words you'll give to the sons of Aaron, as you might speak to the people. Now may the Lord bless you and keep you, and cause his face to shine upon you. May the Lord lift up his countenance to you and be gracious unto you, and may give you peace. This I will ask in Messiah's name. Amen. Of course, amen. So if it pleases him, we'll be back tomorrow with another, are you ready? Torah Moments.